going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, this might be the first time in a long time where I actually talk about a player in a positive manner. Today, I want to talk about DeMarvelous DeRozan himself, Deadeye DeRozan, aka DeMar DeRozan, and talk about how good he has been over the last couple of games for the Chicago Bulls. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and DeMar DeRozan's style of play. Do you still think, again, I don't think anyone actually thinks DeMar DeRozan's a bad player, but do you really think his system and his way of working is still going to be effective for the Chicago Bulls in the long term? That is still a question that needs to be asked, and it's still a question that I feel like in my head I still have about this team and about DeMar DeRozan. But before I go any further, there is one thing that I truly have to say and must humbly admit that I was wrong about. I remember when I was talking about whether or not the big three can still perform for the Chicago Bulls. This was way into the off-season, by the way. This was nowhere near where we are at this point in the season now. And I was talking about DeMar DeRozan and whether or not he can get back or he can be an MVP level for the Chicago Bulls again. My answer was no, but it's because we shouldn't need DeMar DeRozan to go back to that MVP level once again. DeMar DeRozan last season was averaging around 28 points and 4.5 assists a night, and he was in the MVP conversations for close to the entire season for the Chicago Bulls. And my answer was because other guys should have stepped up by now, like a Patrick Williams, for example, or even a Zach LaVine, who had a very, very bad year. Vucevic should not have as bad as of a year from last year to this year. Guys like Kobe White should be scoring more. Guys, again, like Io, I hope I've said him. Again, a lot of other guys should have stepped up, and maybe you even see Lonzo come back, and all of a sudden, DeMar DeRozan doesn't need to drop 28 points per game, score every buzzer beater imaginable to walk away with wins with this team. And unfortunately, I was wrong. The truth of the matter is, this team needs DeMar DeRozan to be the guy. This team needs DeMar DeRozan to average those 28 points and 4.5 assists every single night. And I think games like Milwaukee Bucks proves it. That game against Milwaukee, the game against the Rockets as well, I believe he had 31 points that night. For the last couple of games, he's probably averaging around 35 points per game. I'm not sure of the exact stat, but it definitely feels like that. It feels like DeMar DeRozan has had to take a new level, has to take a level above himself to make this team successful again. And I think we need it, and that's why I'm praising DeMar DeRozan today. Now again, is this the long-term sustainable performance for the Chicago Bulls that we need, like the last game we had against the Bucks? Look, honestly, I don't think so. But one thing DeMar DeRozan showed in that game, and showed that this team can have from time to time, is they have heart. When they want to show it, man, when this team wants to show their heart, they have heart. There are not many teams, there are not many displays out there in the NBA where an 11-point, I guess, lead for the Bucks was closed out and shut up very quickly to go into overtime within 2 minutes. DeMar DeRozan showed a lot of heart in that game. The Bulls team showed a lot of heart in that game, and DeMar DeRozan has been leading us to a lot of wins. But that's in some ways a problem as well as it is a good thing as well. As much as I'm going to praise DeMar DeRozan, there is still a problem with DeMar DeRozan, I guess, always being the guy for this team, because he's not paid the max contract for the Chicago Bulls. It's as simple as that. DeMar DeRozan is our best player. I've been saying it for 2 years, and even people back from last season when he was having an MVP caliber year, they disagreed with me. They said that DeMar DeRozan is not the best player. Zach LaVine is the best player. Unfortunately, that's just not true. Zach LaVine should be the best player. Zach LaVine is paid like he's the best player, and maybe one day Zach LaVine will be the best player. I'm giving him time to try and build himself into that max contract level, even though right now he's not really earned that spot. But DeMar DeRozan is our best player. Even if he's not paid like the max contract player, he is our best player. He's our leader, he's our go-to, he's the guy that we need when something isn't working. And that is a problem in itself, because DeMar DeRozan does not have 10 more years left in terms of his NBA career to really help this Bulls team. A lot of people are saying that DeMar DeRozan Again, even the media have been saying it for sure, but even people in the comment section saying DeMar DeRozan needs to explore his options in the offseason. So eventually, when DeMar DeRozan, if he does explore his options in the offseason, if he, let's say, does not want to commit to the Chicago Bulls in the future, for whatever reason, if DeMar DeRozan doesn't sign a new deal here, and he's left on an expiring deal, and he does explore his options, and the Bulls explore their options, all of a sudden, we're not going to have that leader. We're not going to have that guy that can bail us out at any given time. We're not going to have the king of the fourth quarter. We're not going to have the guy that can help us win games individually sometimes. And I think that's okay, but then you obviously got to turn to some of the other guys that we do have on this team, and who's going to be that leader for this team next. That's where my mindset goes to, because DeMar DeRozan, I'm not saying we should not trade him. My mind has been made up for a while now that I do think that the duo of DeMar and Zach does not work well together. I think the big three in total has had sparks, but does not work well together. And unfortunately, whether I want it to be DeMar or not, him and Vooch are much more likely to get traded than Zach LaVine, because they're not in the long-term plans. But where do we go to next from there? Where are we going to find that leader? Where are we going to find that guy that can really bail us out at any given time? Or that superstar that can get us a win at any given time? I don't know where we're going to find that. And unfortunately, when it comes to Zach LaVine, he has to prove to us that he can be that guy. Because right now, I'm looking at Zach LaVine, I'm looking at this Bulls team, and I'm saying, if we're in a crunch time situation, if we need a go-to bucket, if we need a leader on this team, I can't turn to Zach LaVine right now, because I just can't believe that he's going to be our leader, or he is our leader, because I think on the court, we see other guys really become that guy. And I'm hoping for the future. Look, this is thinking about the future just as much as I'm thinking about DeMar right now. In the future, I'm praying that DeMar DeRozan is teaching Zach LaVine how to be that leader. I'm hoping there's a purpose in bringing DeMar DeRozan here to help guide Zach and help make Zach become a better player compared to, I guess, just having him here for the sake of having him here, or getting him here so he could be our leader and no one else can really become that guy anymore. I hope there's more to the DeMar DeRozan signing than just we wanted him here in many ways. I think in terms of how DeMar DeRozan might leave this team, whether it's in the off-season 2 years from now, whether it's by a trade in the off-season this season, whenever it happens, I hope that we leave something positive when DeMar DeRozan obviously leaves this team. I hope he leaves something behind for these guys that they have learned from him that we can execute in the future. Because I am very worried about when DeMar DeRozan leaves, especially if we're trying to continue to win. If we're blowing it up, then look, again, we could trade everybody, including Zach LaVine, and blow it up. If that's really what the Bulls' direction will be, none of this really matters. But if we're trying to focus on winning when DeMar DeRozan is obviously gone, and when Vucevic is gone, and Zach LaVine remains here with a lot of other guys on this team, I hope that Zach LaVine has learned a lot from DeMar DeRozan in that time. Maybe not necessarily just the style of play and whatnot, but how to be a leader, how to get this team going in the fourth quarter, how to actually guide a team into a win. These are things that DeMar DeRozan has learned, and we've seen, again, the Bucks game, even the first game against the Bucks, and all of last season, DeMar DeRozan guided us to wins. I hope Zach LaVine has that same thing in him, but I just don't know. I didn't want to make this video, I guess, comparing Zach and DeMar, but I guess that's kind of how it's went, really. I can't lie. But altogether, though, DeMar DeRozan has been really good for the Chicago Bulls over the last couple of games. And that's not something, again, DeMar DeRozan has always been the most consistent on the team, really. But even he had a very disappointing stretch where for a long time he was abysmal in first halves of games and then had to pick it up in the second halves. But we haven't really seen that recently. It looks like DeMar DeRozan is getting back to his old form. And whether we like it or not, we kind of need DeMar DeRozan to be an MVP caliber player if this team needs to go anywhere. And that's a problem in itself as well. Because if we're needing DeMar DeRozan to be an MVP, this team is not good enough. But again, we've won 4 of our last 5 games. Bulls fans are probably very happy right now. And let's enjoy the ride while it's here. I don't know when trades are going to happen. I don't know when changes are going to be made. But until it does happen, all I want is this Bulls team to win. I think that's what most people want. Most people want change, and I agree, I want change. But until that change happens, I want this Bulls team to win. I don't want to go through every waking moment knowing that the Bulls are going to lose these games and eventually a trade to happen. The fact of the matter is this front office should be making moves as we speak. They should be talking to other teams as we speak. They should be trying to find something that can make this team better as we speak. If we're going to wait till we constantly lose to make trades, then in my opinion, it shows the front office is desperate. They should be talking now when we're winning just as much as they're talking now when we're losing. But they're not talking to the media. I'm hoping they're talking to other teams though. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. This video might have been a little bit all over the place, but maybe that's when I make my best videos, I think, when I'm just thinking off the top of my head and things work or things don't work. Anyway, have a wonderful and safe day, Bulls Nation. I'll see you in another Bulls video. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.